We use the stitch length number 3, and you'll stitch this on the edge of the foot all the way around and back to the centre back again. This will look like this, and it will make your hoodie nice and professional. Inside, again, you can get your scissors and cut away this seam so it looks really neat. Hold your scissors on the side, but be really careful not to put a hole in your hoodie. So you'll cut that off all the way around. Next we're going to do the ribbing. You have 2 pieces for your wrists. Fold them in half lengthwise so that the stretch is going sideways. You'll put your pins down the side here, and when you stitch this, you'll do it on the edge of the foot with a straight stitch. This is the way the stretch should be going. Fold the other one in half as well. When you sew this, it's a good idea not to start right on the edge because sometimes it can clog up in your machine because it's a stretch fabric. So just start just inside a little bit and you'll sew along these edges. When you've done this, you need to turn them inside the right way. Fold them in half, put your hand inside, and then you can get the edges together. This way. Do the same with the other one. Now you need to get your sleeve, and you need to find halfway on your sleeve. The seam will be one of the halfway marks and the fold will be the other. Get your piece of ribbing now, and you need to do the same with this. The seam will be one halfway and you'll need to pin the other halfway. Now put your ribbing inside your sleeve and join up the 2 seams. Pin this in place. Now you'll join up the other 2 pins, which are the halfway points. You need to get a friend now to put their fingers in and stretch it out for you so you can put the pins in the rest of the way. I'm just managing to do this by myself. But it's a lot easier if you've got someone to stretch it out for you to get it even. When you've pinned this, you'll stitch this around on a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. Do this for both of yours. Stitch right around. If you think you're pretty good, you can have a go at top stitching around the wrist here. Next we're going to do our ribbing for the bottom of our hoodie. Take the long piece and fold it in half like this. You'll stitch down this side here. Pin this first and you'll stitch this using the edge of the foot. Make sure you backstitch at each end and use a colour that's the same colour as your ribbing. This is quite important. Now you need to turn this in half, and it's a good idea to iron this so you get a crease along the bottom. Be careful of the temperature of your iron because you don't want to melt your ribbing. Join the edges up really carefully. Now we have to quarter your ribbing because it's smaller than your hoodie. So we could pin and quarter the hoodie and the ribbing. The seam line is one of the quarter points. Then if we go halfway along, we'll have another point, so we can put a pin in there. By folding it like this, you can then join up that pin with the seam line and the other pin, and you can put a pin in the 2 other quarters. You'll need to do the same with your hoodie. Put that down in front of you nice and flat. The 2 side seams will be quarters, and then in the centre here will be a quarter, and then if you open up underneath, you'll be able to put a pin in the same spot at the back to be your final quarter. We usually join up the side seam of our ribbing with the left-hand side of our garment. Join the seam of your ribbing up with the side seam on your garment. Then move around and join up the other pins. Here's the first quarter at the centre of the pocket. Now we'll do the side seam. Join the pins up and the centre back. You'll need a friend now to put the hands inside your hoodie, spread it out for you so you can fill up the pins the rest of the way. You'll stitch this using 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. Then you need to do some top stitching along here. You'll have to iron it up first before you do the stitching to get it looking really professional. This is done on the edge of the foot. Now you're finished. Well done!